Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Today's topic is let your Filipina wife experience forgiveness. Going to be talking about letting bygones be bygones, and this is basically about forgiveness and not dredging up past wrongs against us. Forgiveness means canceling the debt. Forgiving someone is a great way to show love and a great way for them to experience it. What a wonderful experience to be forgiven and to forgive someone. Please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea and prepare yourself for being the type of husband a woman will want to marry. Marriage requires so much forgiveness, it makes your head spin. But so it is. Please comment on your own experience with forgiveness if you care to. And this, like a recent video on being unselfish, is absolutely essential to the health of marriage. And I really can't say that enough. I have heard it said that you are never more like God than when you forgive. And we should take that as motivation. If we live with being forgiven, we have to forgive others. It isn't because they deserve it necessarily, and doesn't mean they won't go out and do the same thing again and again, but we are to forgive. How on earth can a marriage last without forgiveness? We are to forgive 70 times 7, the Bible says, which is always. Now, this does not mean that you forget or don't try to help someone needing your forgiveness. You do that too. Your Filipino wife is going to need your forgiveness, period. And so will you. If you are unforgiving, you just ruined your marriage. Is that what you want? I sure hope not. I address my videos to men because most of my audience is men, and I'm not interested in giving any advice to women. So forgiveness, well, that's a choice, kind of like love. It's a decision. It's not even really a process. So let's talk about the parable of the unforgiving, unmerciful, unjust servant. This comes from Matthew 18, 21 through 35, from a place called WarrenCampDesign.com. Just a short ditty here. The first servant, whose king forgave him much, 10,000 talents, equivalent today to several $1 million, was unwilling to forgive his fellow servant who owed him a mere 100 denarii, which, compared to what the first servant was forgiven, was just a very small amount. The principle here is the one forgiven is also responsible to forgive much. In other words, the principle of forgiveness is based on extending our grace or forgiveness to another without any limit. Jesus' disciples then and today aren't to count the number of times they've forgiven someone. Rather, we're to forgive much or fully because God has forgiven much or fully. And that's the end of that comment. We could talk a whole lot more about this. It's going to be needed a lot. And again, it's kind of like love. You do it because it's the right thing to do. You do it whether it's deserved or not. And if that sounds ludicrous, well, this is the way God is, and this is the way he loves us, and this is the way he teaches us to do it. So there is so very much to say, but I've talked about in other videos about a little bit more on forgiveness, and I'm sure it will keep coming up. If we want forgiveness from others, we best learn to be forgiving ourselves. It is an absolute necessity when you find love beyond the sea.